got the flyers printed up. And I found a mailing house to mail these, and I walked into Bob's office one day, and I dropped the 4-page brochure on his desk, and I said, these are going out in 2 days.
Wow.
You have 3 months to develop your training.
You did your part.
I've done my part, yes.
Yeah, isn't it incredible though that particularly in the short span of 25 years, how you went from gathering prospects from phone books to now competing with such the world of media and marketing, and it's just a completely different paradigm.
Yeah, it's changed drastically.
Yeah.
Drastically over the last 25 years. I mean, back in those days, and I really don't, I kind of hate to date myself, but at that time, we did have computers, but that was relatively new technology.
Sure. Yeah.
And things were quite archaic. Our most common way of communicating with people was faxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
and mail.
we've
And
come a
mail.
long way. Yeah.
And so everything was mail
Yeah.
back in those days. And so anyway, that was how we got our started. So that was the education. The idea of an association came later.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot later, actually. We marketed the 3 training programs, got reasonable attendance to all 3 of them. And the third one was in New York City, and it was in early 2000. It was early 1991.
Okay.
And at the end of the training program, a couple of the attendees came up to Bob and said, you know, you guys should start an association. And we're like going, what do you mean? And he says, well, an association, we need a way to communicate with each other. We need a platform to have relationships with other people that are doing this business valuation work. And we need more training. This course was great, but we need more. And we need resources. We need someone, an organization, to help us grow our practices. And we need a certification that communicates to our clients that we have meet a certain standard. And Bob came back to the office and told me about this conversation. It was like, you know, the bells just went off, and because it just made so much sense. And so we immediately went about establishing NACVA.
Wow.
And formalized that in May of 1991.
It's an incredible endeavor to think that there are now over 6,000 members, nearly 7,000, and chapters all over the world now from that very first inception of that Fundamentals, Techniques, and Theory course.
Yeah. That training in New York was in early 1991, and we started NACVA in May of 1991. And I'd like to say the rest is history, but it doesn't and didn't work out that way.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Building an association is an absolutely enormous undertaking. And I think at the time, we didn't really realize just what that involved. Made a lot of sense, but it was obviously something we had never done before.
Right.
And so, you know, the question is how do you go about that? And also, I don't think we understood the magnitude of the responsibility. Once we started recruiting members to the association, you start to realize that you have these are not like clients in a CPA firm that you can just, turn over to another CPA or sell to another CPA. People come to your association for support in their careers and for credentialing, for certification. And the more vested they become in their credential and the association, the greater the responsibility you have to them.
Right.
And so what happened to me was about a year or two after we started NACVA, and we had started gaining some momentum, and we were bringing in members, and we were certifying people. I remember very distinctly waking up one night, and in the middle of the night, and I was sweating. I was nervous, and I realized that I had started something that I could not walk away from. But more profoundly, what I realized was that I had defined, inadvertently, I had defined my life and my career. And that this was a lifelong commitment.
How do you feel like NACVA's role has been part of defining the profession in business valuation and in financial forensics?
I can confidently say that NACVA is the reason that business valuation is a well-defined profession today.
So Parnell, let's talk about going forward. What do you see in NACVA's future?
Well, most definitely, business valuations and financial forensics are here to stay. They are staple services. And in my opinion, they are skill sets that I think every CPA and every business advisor should have. And more than that, I actually think they should be part of any entry exam, if there is one, such as the CPA exam. But with NACVA being the dominant force in the industry, we're most certainly here to stay.
And what does that look like?
Well, we're going to continue to improve on all fronts. But what that means in this day and age is improve on technology and delivery platforms and making our products and services more accessible, more economical, and more robust. So I think that's what you're going to see with NACVA over the next 5 years, is just continued improvement on everything that we currently do, and us taking advantage of all the technologies that now exist to deliver our services.